Welcome to the SI Academy. So today we're discussing about the class 10th chapter control and coordination. Next part of that we have okay, next topic is how are these tissue protected. In last class we discussed that the what is the function of brain and different parts of the brain. Okay, these parts how it is protected, or these tissue how is protected means that how it is protected, that to discuss in detailed manner. Okay, delicate organ like brain, which is so important for a variety of activities. Okay, so the brain is a very delicate organ, so it should be protected from various activities of the activities. So how it is protected means for this body designed so that the brain sits inside a bony box. Okay, so again important question, how brain is protected means the first the body making some design to protect the brain. So for that the brain sits inside a bony box. Brain is sitting inside the bony box. Inside the bony box, brain is contained in a fluid filled balloon which provides further shock absorption. Okay, where it is placed, the brain is placed in the bony box. The bony box contain a fluid filled balloon which absorbs the shock absorption. So from how brain is protected means you can write from this. So the brain sits inside a bony box, and the bony box inside the bony box, inside the box the brain is contained in a fluid balloon which provides further shock absorption. This much you have to write. How brain is protected means you can write this. If you run your hand down the middle of your back, okay, if you run your hand down the middle of your back, you will feel hard bumpy structure. This is vertebral column or a backbone which protects the spinal cord. Okay, so what is vertebral column means hard bumpy structure present in our middle of your back is called as what, vertebral column or a backbone which protects the what, spinal cord. What is the function of spinal cord or vertebral column means we can say, or you can write which protects the spinal cord, which protects the spinal cord. What is the function of spinal cord means we can say that what is the function of backbone means we can write it protects the spinal cord. This is the main function of backbone. Okay, next question comes here. How does the nervous tissue causes action? Okay, so after that the tissues are doing, so how these tissue will make the action. Next, how actions are done. Okay, that's the question. So far we have been talking about nervous tissue and how it collects the information and send it around the body, processes information and makes a decision based on the information and convey decision to muscles for the action. Okay, so in previous sections we discussed that so mainly our nervous tissue means brain. The brain collects the information from different parts of the body and they analyze the information and makes the decision on that what information collected by the body and also and which type of his action is how to be do according to that informations that all are done by the brain only. So after that the brain gives the or order the, after that the ultimately the action is done by muscles only. Okay, so the main basic thing is what, analyzing, processing and conveying and ordering all are done by the brain only. Ultimately the work is or the action is done by muscle cells only. Okay, remember that ultimately the work is done by whom? That is the muscles only, that muscle cells for action. In other words, when the action or movement is to be performed, muscle tissue will do the final job. Okay, whatever you are doing that are ordered by the brain. Okay, we are clapping, we are talking, we are writing, that all these things are ordered by the brain only, but finally these things are done by the muscle cells only. That means the final job is done by muscles only. How do animal muscles move? Next question arises here. So the muscles are doing a final job means, so how muscle cells move? Next question arises here. Again important questions. Remember that how do animal muscles move means, when a nerve impulse reaches the muscles. When nerve impulse reaches the muscle fiber must move. Okay, what is the answer for that? How do animal muscles move means, when electrical impulse or a nerve impulse reaches to the muscles, the muscle fiber must move. This is the answer. How do animal muscles move means, when nerve impulse reaches to the muscles, the muscle fiber must move. So how does muscle cell move? Next question arises here. How does muscle cells move means, the simplest notion of the movement of the cellular level is that muscle cells will move by changing their shape so that they shorten. Okay, how muscle cells move means, muscle cells move by changing their shape and they will become very short. Okay, how muscle cells move means, we can write that the muscle cells move by changing their shape so that become shortened. So the next question, how do muscle cells change their shape? First question arises here. How do animal muscle move means, we said that nerve impulse reaches to the muscles and muscle fiber must move. That is the answer for how animal muscle move means. After that, how animal cell move means, that by changing their shape so that they become shortened and the muscle cell will move. Next question arises here. How muscle cell change their shape? Next question arises here. How muscle cell change their shape means, the answer lie in the chemistry of cellular components. Components muscle cells have special proteins that change both their shape and their arrangement in the cell in response to the nervous electrical impulse. Okay, how muscle cells change their shape means, you can write from this point to this point. So muscle cells have special proteins that change both their shape and their arrangement in the cell in response to nervous electrical impulse. So this is the answer for your question. What is the question here? How muscle cells change their shape means, muscle cells having a special proteins that change their both shape and their arrangement in a cell response to the nervous electrical impulse. These three important questions here. First questions here, how do my animal muscle move? Second, how muscle cells move? Third, how they change their shapes. So these three questions and their answer also easy. When this happens, a new arrangement of these proteins give the muscle cell to shorter form. Okay, when these proteins are changed, so that proteins changing in that cells becomes they becomes what, very shortened. Okay, after that so they're changing the arrangement of the proteins. So due to that the cell becomes what, shorter. Due to that shorter, they will change their shape. Remember, when we talked about muscles tissue in class 9, there are very different kinds of muscles such as voluntary muscles and involuntary muscles. Again, we defined that so muscles are two types. One is voluntary muscles, another one is what, involuntary muscles. Correct? So we already know that what is voluntary muscles means, the actions are done by thinking. Correct? The actions are done by thinking are called as the voluntary actions. Okay, so what is involuntary actions? The actions which are done without thinking is called as involuntary actions. What are the types of muscles means? One is what, voluntary muscles, another one is involuntary muscles. Correct? In exam they will ask, write the difference between voluntary action and involuntary action. Means you can write first definition of the first point. You have to write definition of voluntary. The actions are done with thinking. Okay, simple. The actions are done by thinking is called as the voluntary actions. The actions are done by without thinking is called as the involuntary actions. Simple definition. What is voluntary muscles or voluntary action means, the actions are done with thinking is called as the voluntary actions. The actions are done without thinking is called as the involuntary actions. Example, you can write reading, writing, talking, clapping. These are examples of voluntary actions, and these are the examples of respiration, excretion. So again we can write that transportations, blood circulations. Okay, these are under consider what involuntary actions, or these are two types of muscles, that is voluntary muscles and involuntary muscles, and their difference. You have to write first definition of the both voluntary as well as involuntary. After that give two examples. So that is a difference of what voluntary and involuntary actions. Okay, next we will discuss about so until now we will discuss that what are the muscle types of muscles and their difference, and how they will coordinate and how they will do the actions, and how they will communicate. So we will next we'll discuss how plant coordinates. So they are using the same method or using the different method. So they are having the almost all we know that almost all plants are a living, no, some parts are living thing, remaining all are the dead plants, or a dead cells in that. So the how they will communicate, and how they will behave, all kinds of queries will study in this coordination in what plants. Until we discussed the coordination in animal, now we will discussing coordination in plants. Okay, animals have nervous system, correct, for controlling and coordinating the activities of the body. Okay, our nervous system controlling the all activities of the body, including smallest to biggest, correct. All the actions are controlled by the our nervous system only. But plants neither have a nervous system nor muscles, correct. But animals having the nervous system as well as the muscles, they are doing the final job, and they will analyzing. So for that doing any actions. But plant does not having any neither nervous system nor muscles. Then question arises here, how plants are communicating with each other, and which they method they are using. They are using the communication method, means which method they are using, how they are communicating with the plant and one another. So that is the main question here. So how they respond to stimuli. Okay, how they are respond to stimuli. So here stimuli means something changes in the environment, according to that they are responding is called as what stimuli. What is a stimuli? Stimuli means so changes in the environment, according to that they are doing a response is called as what stimuli. 1 marks definition they may be asked in your exam. What is stimuli means? Stimuli is a nothing but it can changes in the environment, so that called as what stimuli. A simple definition is there. When we touch the leaves of a chewy mui or a sensitive or a touch me not plant of the Myasova family. Okay, which plant we are discussing about here? So touch me not plant, or we can also call it chewy mui. So this plant is belong to the which family? Mimosa family. They began to fold up and droop. Okay, they began when we touch it, they began fold up and they will droop. When a seed germinates, the roots goes down and the stems come up into the air. Okay, for example here this is the soil. Okay, so how the root will germinate, the seed will germinate and root will go inside the down or inside the earth, and the stem will comes up into the air. Means what here is the what soil, correct. This is the soil, in that we are added the or seed. So whenever this seed is germinates, means the roots will go in the downward direction. Okay, this is what soil, and this is called as what seed. Okay, so in diagrammatically I will explain. Okay, so this is what soil, correct. This is a soil, and so this is a seed. This is seed, So when seed is plucked in a soil means so or sown in the soil means the seed will germinates and the roots will grown in the the roots are grown in the soil. After that again the stem will come outside. Okay, some several days after that the stem will move will what will do this stem means they will make the soil aside, they will like the soil and they will move the soil other side of it and the stem will come upside. This is called what? Germination. This is called as what? Germination. This is called as the roots soil and the when the stem is growing they will make the soil aside from it and the roots will be the stem will grow in upward direction. So you already know that this is the simple and common observation in our day-to-day life. So what happens? Firstly, the leaves of sensitive plants move very quickly in response to touch. Question arises here. We are said that the plant does not have any nervous system and another one is what? Correct, your assumption is correct. What is that is the muscles. If there does not having nervous system as well as the muscle cells means how the sensitive plant responding a touch. So it's when we touch the sensitive plant within fraction of second it will fold up. Okay, so there is no nervous system and muscle cells means how it will information is transferred to the plants. Question arises here. So how plants responding a touch, that is the question. Okay, there is no growth involved in this moment when we touch when we touched the leaf of a sensitive plant means it will fold up. So this fold upping is not a growth related movement. When we are touching means that part is not growing suddenly, so it is not related to the growing part. Other hand, the directional movement of a seedling is caused by growth. Okay, what we did a few minutes ago, that seed is growing. Okay, that seed is germinating. After that the stem is coming to the air side, so that is called as the what? Called as a growth related movement. Okay, it is not a growth related movement. Sensitive plant is not great growth related movement, but the seedling is caused by growth only. Okay, when we are seed is sown in the soil, it is not grown within a 1 day or a 2 day. It will require some within a or a few weeks. After that it will be grown and it will come outside of the soil. So that is called as the growth related movement. So for another examples, we are not growing suddenly. So you are not directly coming to the 10th class or a second what PUC. So we are coming from step by step. First we are studying from first standard, second standard, third standard. So one step. So like that here that is our called as the growth related movements. Again we are good example means our age. So our age is also having a growth. So our cells are growing, our body will be growing, and after that certain age we are saying that our growth is completed. So the growth is what slowly process, that are called as what? Growth related movement. If it is prevented from growing, so it will not show any movement. Okay, so if the seed is generating means if we cut that roots or we do not add the water and we are that seed is enclosed in a airtight container, or we does not providing any sunlight water to it, it will be does not growth, it will not show any movement because we are stopped the growing of it, so it will does not show any movement. So plants show two type of movements. Okay, plants showing how many types of movements? Plants showing two types of movements. One is the one dependent on growth, another one is that independent of growth. Remember that. What are the two types of plant movements? One is dependent on growth, another is independent of growth. Remember the two types of plant movements are what? One is dependent growth, another one independent growth.